Cha-Cha Vaz has had enough of poor managers. Being one of the best players on several teams and constantly having to deal with potentially being set down or being sent down while being in the running for all-star votes and leading the league in stolen bases. Enough is enough. So he cooked up a deal here with the MLB commissioner. And that's to head to one last destination where there is no chance at being sent down, as he's taken part ownership here of the Minnesota Twins. And he, as well as every player left from their massive trade deadline deals, will try to get the Twins back on track. And we will be starting at the beginning of the season. And that's because the roster we are using has their real-life draftees. We didn't want to double up in the first season to make this more realistic. And perhaps that means here, for the Minnesota Twins, they'll have a bit more luck at a better season and not be sellers come the trade deadline. But we will not only be paying attention to the Twins throughout this franchise, we will be diving into games down in AAA, down with AA, and perhaps we might even get some games down at single A as well, when there are storylines and players producing. And we might also see quite a bit of some coaching and scouting changes, though, out the bat here. It's not a bad coaching staff for the Twins. First base could use a bit of an upgrade with a C attribute grade. Same as well for the pitching coach, but everyone else is either A or B. As for our current scouts, they also aren't too shabby either, so we'll play with this as we go along, and always make sure to leave your input down in the comments below. Right now, the Minnesota Twins pitching rotation starts with Joe Ryan. Pablo Lopez behind him with Ober, Bradley, and Festa as the 3-4-5, but we do have some options here in the bullpen. As for your lineups, we're trying something out the gate here, with a rotation of 3 being speed, contact, then power, back to speed, contact, power, and so far so forth down throughout the lineup. We'll see if that ends up paying off here for this group. If it does not, we will definitely shake things up, but it's something I've wanted to try for a while. Now, we did get through opening day in a stream last week where we did talk a little bit about this series, and it started off great with a home run from Byron Buxton in our first at-bat, though since that at-bat, we really did not do much. A couple doubles from Jose Miranda and Jonah Bride. Brooks Lee, though, did have a fielding error, and the pitching did not hold up strong. Joe Ryan gave up 5, Ole gave up 4, and Anthony, gotta learn the last name, gave up 2, but Cole Sands came in there at the end and closed it down well. But we will not be jumping into each and every game. It's a long season here in Major League Baseball, so the custom entry conditions are set as you currently see. We may look to tweak these as we move along. And speaking of as we move along, we will jump into our first bit of action here today on the road in St. Louis, a team we're pretty familiar with, as Cha-Cha Vaz started with the St. Louis Cardinals in our road to the show. And having a quick transition from road to the show here to franchise, we will be player locking with Cha-Cha Vaz here in our first official game of this series. The pitcher we will be facing is going to be Andre Palante, with an 8-8 record last season, an ERA of 3.78. Cha-Cha Vaz, though, we know, is pure contact with some upside of power at occasion. He brings speed. Everything that he had here in road to the show, as he takes the first pitch, a good take on a ball just inside. But with one down the middle, Cha-Cha will let it fly out to right and down. It will be a stand-up double. Nope, manager wants 3. And Cha-Cha will get us going with a triple. His first major league hit? Technically, no. But in this series, that's what it is. He is still listed as a rookie, and he's going to get that game ball. And everything with Cha-Cha is exactly as it was in the final game we had in Road to the Show, so service time is also the same. Only difference is a couple pieces of equipment. As we've got contact here, it's going to be rolled over to third, but Cha-Cha will sprint on home, and we've got our first run with Royce Lewis picking up the RBI. The Twins would look to just add on to it as we move to top of the third, now with a 3-0 lead here. Getting no one on for Cha-Cha, taking that fastball high. We would see Cha-Cha battle well here against Palante in a 2-2 count. And contact, send over to first in a foot race this time. Cha-Cha will not be out. A double and a ground out. That's only with Contreras not being thrown out of a game. As we go to bottom of the fourth here, it's now 4-0 and Cha-Cha playing second base here for us. Does have a secondary position of shortstop. We will see if we ever do decide to use that. He's not necessarily the best fielder. One option for us in the future could be to have Cha-Cha's second spot really be a DH and just be that pure contact type of guy. Not sure where his sunglasses are, though, as he technically should have them, but doesn't right now. First pitch swinging here is soft contact over to shortstop, and it is out about a step and a half from the base. Right now, all the runs are running their way home as we tack on yet another, averaging a run per inning so far as we go bottom of the fifth. Runner on, though, for St. Louis. A double play here could be big for Mason Wynn. Trying to avoid it. Cha-Cha flips it and sent to first for that double. Come our next at bat, it will be 6, and the average is staying the same, but a chance to improve it here with a runner 90 feet away. Also have one over at first. 2 outs here. And Cha-Cha, we all know he loves to try that drag bunt. Should not have offered at that one. Liberatore threw that one well inside. But reaching out for one on the outside of the plate, it will not bloop down in left. Cha-Cha strands 2, and it will stay a run an inning. Well, the Cardinals coming alive here. Bottom of the 7th, they have now scored 3. 1 out, 1 on. This one will be sent over to Cha-Cha. The play will be made over at first. With a good clean throw, though I'm pretty sure he missed that last button click. And I don't think we're going to complain too much about that. Looking for a multi-hit day in the top of the 9th. Cha-Cha Vaz here, just 1 hit, double in the first. Takes that fastball inside. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jorge Alcala was a member of the Twins involved in one of those trades around the deadline. So facing a former Twin here, again, if not mistaken, do correct in the comments below. Cha-Cha with some soft contact there on the slider. And the count falls to 1-2. Cha-Cha trying to avoid the strikeout. But I think the announcer jinxed him as he swings by that 95 sinker. And it'll be up to Michael Ciani to try to keep the Cardinals in this game. 3 for 4 today with a double, 2 singles, and a run. Though a ground out here would be great. As that one is ripped to the left tier, but slows down on the infield grass. Cha-Cha will have to collect in, get the out over at first. So with 1 strike to spare, Cole Sands has stepped into this game to try to close it out. And it's going to be some soft contact over to short. With the play at first, Twins take game 2 of this series. And in our first official episode of this series, pick up the dub. And we would end up taking that series as we get into the month of April. 6-2. Byron Buxton, a multi-hit day. Cha-Cha Vaz, though, does not get a hit, but does pick up that RBI. Royce Lewis with 4 hits, including 2 RBIs. Moving on down to the batting, Byron Buxton had a double. So did Royce Lewis with 2. Ryan Jeffers had a double. 2 home runs coming from Royce Lewis. Again, that leading power bat. Brooks Lee also goes yards with RBIs of Cha-Cha Vaz. 2 for Royce Lewis, Jonah Bride, Ryan Jeffers, and Brooks Lee. Cha-Cha Vaz, though, did have a sac fly And Jose Miranda and Trevor Larnach did ground into double plays. Did have a fielding error as well with Trevor Larnach. Base running, stolen base though, Larnach. And it was Ober's first start. He gave up 2 runs and then closed things out throughout as he would end up going 6 innings. But here is a prime example of one of the opportunities we could look to jump into. Against the White Sox, we are down 2 runs. And we have 2 on with Ryan Jeffers up to bat. Actually make that top 9. I think I said 8. But with 1 out to spare here, we need a hit through the infield. And it's a cutter, high portion of the zone, fouled off. Could have been called a strike, could have been called a ball. With these umpires, you never quite know. Brian Hudson trying to close this game out, and another high swing here from Jeffers. Both arguably above the zone. Now down in the count here, 0-2. Have to be smart with it, or get struck out on the cutter just inside the zone. White Sox will end up taking game 1, 4-2, as we strand the tying run at first. But perhaps this is a better opportunity for us to jump in then. Pitching right now in a tie game, 4-4, bottom of the 7th. Right now, it is Luis Robert Jr. stepping up to bat. He has a triple and a double, single and home run away from the cycle. We're about mid-energy right now, so let's see what we could get done here with Anthony. Good cutter there. Does get soft contact. Try pitch high and inside. Hitting strike 2 and ahead here, 0-2. This is where we could really use with that put-out pitch. Going with the curveball, down in the dirt. Runner does look to take third and slides in just in front of the throw. They also advance over to second. That throw, though, close. Some slight late reaction. React a little bit quicker, we might have that one. But we still have the opportunity to get the out here on Robert. With a cutter just off the plate. We'll try again with that fastball. Another one low. This was the problem we had in the first game stream with Sosa behind. We would start well in the count, but we wouldn't quite finish. Well, that will do it. A strike on Robert will bring up Sosa here with 1 out to go. Manager is saying we should walk. I don't agree. Anthony just off the plate again with that cutter. Go back to that cutter. Letting that one rip out and right, but tracked down Wallner. We will get out of the jam here in the 7th. No damage done. We will look to stick in this game as well as Miguel Castro steps up to the mound here for the White Sox. See if we could finish this game off strong here. Basically a brand new ball game with just 2 innings to go. Byron Buxton. He could do most anything when facing right-handed pitching. And that sinker does find its way into the zone outside lower third. One thing I definitely want to focus on in this series is just getting better at reading pitches and not be so aggressive, as Buxton well ahead of that slider. Brian Hudson in the pen. Right now, Buxton is down in this count, 0-2. And they're going to say he swung. Looked like he tried to check it. I don't know if that bat fully went around, but they will call strikeout. And Cha-Cha Vaz, who's 2 for 4 with a home run and a single in this one, steps up to the batter's box. The switch-hitting second baseman. Of course, on this channel, we know him very well. Facing Castro. And he'll let that one rip towards the right field gap and by. Cha-Cha headed towards second. He might be looking for another triple here. And will be in front of the throw. All the way to 90 feet from the plate. Cha-Cha Vaz taking part-time ownership duties here. Might have just found what he's been looking for. Now, Royce Lewis, that swing was nowhere close to that slider. Probably why you're 0 for 3 in this one. though we did pick up a walk in the third. And contact is made down the middle. Cha-Cha runs home and is safe. A fielder's choice on a chopper down the middle. Royce Lewis reaches on the fielder's choice. Not his best swing, but in this instance, we'll take it as we take the lead. That's where the speed of Cha-Cha Vaz really comes through. Now, Matt Wallner here is more of our speed guy, so we'll be looking for some more contact swings from him as he fouls that sinker off. 2 for 3 with 2 singles. It's exactly what we want from our speed guys. Just get to first and see what we could do from there. And that one sent straight to first. How unlucky can you be? Royce Lewis tagged out in a quick blink of an eye double play, but we do pull ahead here 5-4 as we go through the middle of the 8th. And we do still have Anthony on the mound. 17 pitches for him in this one. Energy is starting to dip. We might need to consider warming someone up. Tristan Gray is in the batter's box here. And that one could have gone either way. But Anthony would bounce back, leveling that count here 2-2 as we look for the strikeout. Zone is cold in the top corners. We'll look for one inside. But laying off is Gray. I don't think that bat has left his shoulder yet. As we'll look for the cutter here low, sweeping towards the outside. And he lays off for the walk. Tying run heads to first base freely. Kyle Teal, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, steps up. 0 for 2 on the season. Now we should look for some low pitches here. Not what we were looking for. Energy definitely dipping. We do have a setup man warming up as that one nearly ripped down the third base line. Luckily goes foul. Trying to keep these pitches low to try to get them into a double play. Not quite finding where we're looking for yet. The cutter also comes in low. And it's a 3-1 count. Gotta get our pitch here. Is off the plate and with 2 free walks. The lead off bottom of the 8th. We've got to make a pitching change. Anthony could not quite hold on there for us. We will bring in the setup man in Topa. He's played so far in 2 games, 2 holds, 2 innings pitched. And currently with no runs crossing but 2 on. We're going to need him to shut things down here. Situation is a sacrifice bunt. Well, in that case, give me some breaking balls. Reaching out for that one, snagged. Royce Lewis, a little flip around here. Try to hold everybody. Good quick out there from Topa. Of course, we've seen plenty of good bunts and plenty of bad bunts on this channel. Josh Rojas, who's 2 for 3. He's stepping up. Topa throws that one low. Throwing to third is a wild throw, and the tying run will work its way home. Go-ahead run is going as well as Larnack did not throw it to score off of a wild throw from the catcher in Jeffers. And there goes any sort of save opportunity. Well, we've got to work our way back into this one with a strike called on the bottom rung of the zone. We'll take that one. Good contact made. Buxton does get the out, just barely reaching. And that leaves the 8th up to Brooks Baldwin. But the damage has been done. So trying to mitigate that damage, a jam ball goes foul. That pitch definitely had more break than expecting, but lays off the 92 cutter. With a 1-1 count here. Baldwin again lays off. Not quite finding what we're looking for here. All breaking balls from Topa. Sinker does get the swing, and once again, the count goes level. Looking for the slider. Left hanging, that one's going back to the wall and off the wall. Heading into second, that throw is in. And it is a double for Baldwin. For the White Sox, they're not quite done here yet. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, and another foul ball. Topa's come in and has at least gotten a couple outs, but the runs have not been on him, scoring on all errors as we have a 0-2 count. Getting the swing there on the sinker below the zone, but it is fouled off. Keeps the count 0-2 with a cutter on the outer third, and that is the 8th. With work to do here in the 9th to try to tie this game, we had the 1-run lead to score on the error. And now it's White Sox in front 6-5. For the Sox, it will be Brian Hudson stepping up one game and is 1-for-1 on save opportunities. And we start with Jose Miranda, who is 0-for-4 in this one. He's supposed to be more of our contact batter here. And there's contact made, but the 27 speed will not be enough to run that one out. Already one down here, 2 to go. We're looking at the bottom half of our order. Now, Trevor Larnach here, 2-for-4. He brings a little bit of some power to the offense. Our second power bat. And that one is fouled off, the sweeper coming in at 81. And that one is well by. It's a swinging strikeout, but one that puts a man for us on first with a wild pitch and even a wilder swing. I guess that's really all we need here. Manager suggests a pinch runner. We need someone with some speed. What do we got here on the bench? 77 with Outman. That's probably going to be our best opportunity here. So Outman will step into the game. We'll sort out the field if we do end up needing it. But right now, we need the speed on the bases. We got Jonah Bride in the box here as well. And that one is lifted. But getting under it is center field. So with one out to go, we've got to work all the way from first to tie this game. And it'll be up to Jeffers, who's 3-for-3 but gave up 2 runs. The bottom of the 8th. Expecting the steal, Outman nearly caught there, but luckily slides back in. See if they offer one up to Jeffers here as the runner does go. It is fouled off with a fastball on the inside of the plate. Brian Hudson, pitch number 7 for him. Runner does go this time, and Outman slides in just in front of the throw. That puts him 180 feet away. A single through the infield should be enough to bring him home. Make sure he has a little bit of an extra step there as well. A great sweeper, though, finds the bottom outer corner of the zone. And it's 1-2 here to Jeffers. Offering at that one, it's looking out towards right. But to collect, the Sox win the game. A blown game for us in this one. Twins had the opportunity with Cha-Cha Vaz making his way home. But it's the error on the errant throw, both the pitcher as well as the catcher. 2 score on it, and we end up losing by those 2. 6-5. But we will avoid the sweep in the final game of the series, picking up the dub 5-3. In this one, no hits from Buxton, 1 for Cha-Cha. Again, 2 more coming in from Royce Lewis, and a couple hits at the bottom of the order. Royce Lewis with a double and a home run. Jeffers also doubles. RBIs is Royce Lewis with 2. Jonah Bride and Brooks Lee with 2. Hit by pitch, Cha-Cha Vaz and Jose Miranda, and yet another fielding error. So the fielding so far has not been very good. Joe Ryan, though, in his second start, picks up a big dub, going 7 innings. Only 1 run scoring. Joey Wentz steps in. He gives up 2. Then we bring in Cole Sands to clean it up in the 9th. We'll look to get stuck into another late game scenario with a runner on here. Bottom of the 8th, we are down 2 to the Astros. Royce Lewis has been hitting for a lot of extra base hits, and that 97 fastball is by him. But if he can come through for us this year and really be that true power bat for us, we could stay close in a lot of these games. As long as we also read the pitch as well, taking that fastball outside. You got Hader warming up in the pen right now. Currently with that 2-run lead, he would look to close this game out. we have other things in mind. Like getting another hit here as Lewis, with his first on the day, it's a single through the first and second base gap. And for the Twins, that puts 2 on now. They're suggesting a pinch runner here. We're going to ignore that for right now. We don't have top end speed out there, 25, and I believe it said around 40. Buxton probably should not have swung at that. Now, why he's batting fourth here, I am not sure. As far as I'm aware, that is not anywhere in my lineups, but this is a good spot to have him out there, as he brings both power as well as contact. Contact made there on the circle change, but it goes foul and is down in the count here, 0-2. And make that a strikeout as he misses the slider sweeping outside. And that will be it. Pitching change to follow. With 2 on, I guess they want to bring in Hader and make sure that, actually no, they go Brian King. He was not in the bullpen last we saw. But I guess this is a situation they like him in. He's pitched in 1 inning, has not given up any runs yet. 50% strike rate against Matt Wallner. And we are looking at a 4-pitch mix here. And contact is made, but going nowhere with it. And with the lack of speed, even with that bad throw, not sure we get to third. So we're down to our final out here in the 8th. Cody Clemens stepping into the box. A double in this one we could use with another extra base hit for him. But right now, things are not looking promising with 2 fastballs fouled off and down 0-2. And the curveball is by him. They bring in King, and he shuts down the inning. We'll have one more opportunity to try to reclaim these 2 runs. But before we get there, we've got to do our job pitching. Carlos Correa. And we got Topa on the mound. Try to pitch him low outside. Here is the cold zone, but he doesn't swing. Definitely a tough bat to be facing here. Also, again, another former Twin. Lays off that slider.
2-0.
Right now, he is very much in charge of this count with nothing finding the strike zone so far. We don't have a fastball to use here. That will find the bottom rung, though. We get in the strike column, make it 3-1. Topa with a bad call from the ump. That should be 3-2, not a runner on first here, top of the 9th. Yordan Alvarez following behind, 250 in 2025. He's got a really good-looking hot zone here. Good call that time, ump. Could have called it last time. We'll take ahead here with that one very much going foul. Clemens, appreciate the effort, but you're not going to catch up to that one. We find ourselves exactly where we want to be here, ahead in the count. 0-2. And that probably hurt. Ball bounces off the ground and right into the catcher's chin. Crushed, but not crushed enough. Wallner backpedaling as he will not have to worry about the runner heading to second. Pretty solid arm strength, though. Jose Altuve up next. 179 average. It has not been too hot for him out the gates. Hopefully that stays the case. As we find the strike zone there on the slider, he doesn't offer. All breaking pitches here. Come on, ump. We're not getting these calls here in Houston. 1-1 count. Another ground ball sent foul. Make it 1-2 as we look for the put out here. The circle change has the highest confidence. Reaching out for it. And it's thrown over to first to get 1. Didn't look like they had the opportunity for the double play there. You go with the sure out. Carlos Correa moves to second, and Isaac Paredes steps into the batter's box with a 217 average. Pretty cold zone, though, for him. Not going to matter, though, if you don't find the zone. That would seemingly be the case throughout here now. He is getting a bit tired, but we've got 1 out here. 3-1 count. And we do get him to offer up at the circle change, running this count full. I think we got to go back to that circle change here. Look for it low, possibly inside. Hard hit. And you got to throw this one home. Byron Buxton with Carlos Correa running in, and he's out by a mile. What a throw. Byron Buxton saves the day here for the Minnesota Twins as we get through the 8th. Needing to find at least 2 runs here, top of the 9th. And this time they will look to bring in Josh Hader. Though currently he has a 9 ERA, so he's given up some hits. And he has 1 loss on 1 appearance so far. So James Outman to get us going here. If it's following my order, he's a speed guy with some soft contact through the infield. And we've got 77 speed on the bases. Very similar to the last game we jumped into. But now a guy we haven't played with, Eduardo Julian. See if he could bring anything home here. The fastball inside coming in at 96. He's 2 for 3 with a double and a single plus an RBI. Well, how about another RBI? That sounds good to me. Extra lead here on Hader. And I guess the runner's going. He looks to be stuck a bit in a pickle here. Going back and forth, sliding and out. Another error, this time coming in base running. Now we've got extra work to do with no one on now. Julian, we need a strong hit from you. And that fastball is blown by him. Hader looking for his 200th career save. And with that fastball being swung at, all fastballs here so far in a 3-pitch mix. He's close to getting that number 200. The slider gets him swinging wildly. Julian not very happy about it. 1 out away from number 200, and Christian Vasquez might just have a say in that. And with the slider and the circle change being both balls but picking up 2 strikes, expect the fastball here. And that's exactly what it is. Timed up well. We've got a runner on first. And this is a situation that we very well might look to have a pinch runner. With Jose Miranda stepping up to bat, we'll see if we do have any other speed to put over at first. Mascot trying to get everyone hyped up here as well. We've got the perfect option to put in over at first. Cha-Cha Vaz, it was his day off. Well, he's onto the bases here. We're caught in a pickle earlier. Cha-Cha, though, is back safely here. Just 1 more remaining. Wouldn't mind getting rid of that one, just to give us that easier opportunity. The tying run at the plate. Doesn't look like Hader's going Cha-Cha's way. Contact, though, sends it foul. Once again, Cha-Cha will get back to that extra step here. Jose Miranda, we need a hit here. The fastball is by him, and once again, we are down in the count here, 0-2. Cha-Cha goes, backing off the plate, and safe at second. We got at least 1 run in scoring position. With Cha-Cha Vaz, he could definitely make his way over to third as well. But he reached a top speed, closing in at almost 19 miles an hour there. That's fun to see. Cha-Cha goes. As the hit is made, he will round home, but getting under it, Astros will pick up the dub. Once again, unable to find our way to tie this game, but we at least keep runs off the board, and that's a good step forward for at least the guy behind the sticks. And moving along, we see our first injury update. Bailey Ober sustained a injury, shoulder inflammation. It appears he'll be out for about 1 to 2 weeks. So it looks like he is going to head to the 15-day injured list. That's a little bit too long to keep him active. And we do lose the second game against Houston there as well. Carlos Correa had 2 hits for Houston, 2 more for Christian Walker and Jesus Sanchez. As for our Twins, we actually picked up quite a few hits. Everyone outside of Jose Miranda had 1, 2 for Larnack and 2 for Brooks Lee. But I guess it was the pitching that had a problem, and it was only 1 out for Bailey Ober before he had to exit that game. 3 earned runs go to Woods Richardson, and then 1 for Topa and 1 for Sands as he actually takes the L. That's unfortunate. But from there, we could look to get into our first little bit of scouting here. Now, from the looks of things, right now the weakest part with this team is going to be shortstop. Now, they did just draft a couple shortstops, I believe, quite a few. Left field also looks a little bit weak. First base looks weak. Closing pitching and relief pitching are also pretty weak. Everything else looks to be within top 10 outside of starting pitching, which is 13. So I think we definitely need to look at some shortstops. Definitely need to look at some first basemen. I put third baseman. I meant first baseman. And then we might need to look at just general outfielders, perhaps. Though, relief pitching, I feel like that's one you might be able to take some chances on. We'll stick with the corner outfield. So with that and with the scouting staff we do have, we have some good discoverability here with Adrian Cuevas. However, he's not great when it comes to position players, but the efficiency is high. For Marino White, he is high on his position player and pitching. Discovery is low, but efficiency is high. So he's more of a guy we want to have go after specific positions rather than looking for discovery of positions. And then for Allison Miley, more pitching, okay discovery, really bad with position players, but efficiency is high. So he's one that's kind of not exactly matching what our needs are, but I think with him, we very much have to look for probably the closing and the relief pitching because of how bad that position player rating is. But starting here with one of our better options, I feel like we go Mario White, and we are going to scout positions. And I feel like we need to go shortstop here. Now, not sure the region, but it looks like at this point, at least that I'm aware of, there's no way of actually seeing what is out there. So we'll just take a shot in the dark. Now, the only time I have gone through one of these was pre-setup, and it seemed like there were a lot of international players. So we're going to go international for shortstop. That's going to be our top option. Second option is going to be Adrian Cuevas. Now, the position player is low. So you guys let me know, because that position player is low, if we put him on discover new prospects, but for position players, is it going to be pretty poor? Because if so, we don't really have the best scouts for what our needs currently are. But that's what I'm going to roll with here out the gate, and we're going to go discover infield, and we'll stick with international. As for the third priority, this is where I'm going to look to scout position, and we're going to look for relief pitching. And again, we'll stick with international for now until we get a better idea of what this first draft class has in store for us. With that, we'll move through our first bit of scouting. And I think we'll also look to jump into our final bit of action in the final game here against the Astros. We're in the bottom of the 7th. We are currently down 2 yet again with 2-1, and Ryan Jeffers is up to bat. Now he is 1 for 2 so far today. He's batting .400. And we've got nobody out. We'll take that slider though inside. King and Okert. I'm sure someone has already said that before. But 2 guys in the pen warming up here for the Astros, as we just need a strong hit. Through the infield, that slider had Jeffers swinging wildly well outside, and that bat didn't even cross the whole plate. So a 1-1 count here. Abreu left the fastball down the middle, but we just miss out on it. Good timing, but it's weak contact. This 1-2 count here. Make that full with another slider placed outside. That time a little bit higher than the previous, but about the same. As Jeffers continues battling here with Abreu. And somehow misses that slider for a strikeout. Looked like he sat back well on it. But Abreu, despite freezing there for a moment, hits the K. And that would end up being his final pitch. And are they going to bring in King here? No, they instead go with Okert. who has a 2.70 ERA with 3 games, just over 3 innings pitched, and a cold zone here for Jonah Bride, who's 0 for 3. And trying to send that one down the third baseline, it does go foul. Now we have speed at second with Cha-Cha Vaz. I think we look to get him stealing here. So as he does not get picked off, as he was actually gaining too much ground there on the extra steps, we'll be a little bit lucky here. Now Cha-Cha goes. In fact, all runners go as the hit is made, trailing back, and good news is everyone else got back because that one does not find grass. Jonah Bride goes 0 for 4 or 5 in this one. We're down to our final out of the inning, and Trevor Larnach, who's 0 for 3, with everything just being popped up. Cha-Cha Vaz once again gaining that step. He looks to go, and it looks to be copy-paste of the previous at-bat, flying out again out in right field. And again, we have them in a jam and come away with nothing. But we did pitch mostly well in our last chance. We'll see if we could do the same with a new pitcher on the mound for us in Pearson Ole. Though he's getting tired, so apparently we already have some work to do by getting someone warmed up. Now there is a righty and a lefty coming up. We are late on in this one, though Topa is getting rather tired. We don't really have a great option here right now. So Anthony, let's get you warming up. And we need a righty at least. So we'll get Tonkin warming up here as well, just in case. And Cole Sands, can't do anything with you now, but we might get him stretching soon. But for Ole, got a fastball and a changeup that have some decent bit of confidence. Look for that on the high outside corner, or how about just high? 1-0. Look for a changeup then instead against Christian Walker. Lays off that one as we find the bottom rung. Would be great to also ring him up. 1-1 here. Just inside. But he swings by the curveball. And we have a chance here to sit him down. 2-2. Look for one on the inside. Or send it closer to over the middle. That's not what we're looking for. Luckily, that one does go foul. Would like for this to be his final batter faced, and it's a good way to close it out as he picks up the K. I believe that was his 5th one of the game. Good job from him, but it's time we bring in a fresh arm here this late. We got to keep this game close. So, Ole, appreciate your job out there. We're going to trot out Anthony. We've pitched with him a little bit here. He has currently, though, a 7.71 ERA, strikeout rate below 20. We'd like to get that a little bit higher here. So let's see what we can get done facing Yanir Diaz. Cold zone, though, for him. No one on, one out. In the 8th, and that one finds the strike zone. Good start. Now let's go opposite here, and we're going to look for a high inside fastball or another one almost left right down the middle. Good news, fouled off, and we have the opportunity here to get a strikeout out the gate with an 0-2 count. Oh, that curveball never quite had enough to offer at it. We'll keep this at-bat going here. How about a low inside fastball? Too far, low and inside. This count goes level. 2-2. Diaz doing a good job of battling back here. Breaking ball is scooped. Buxton, though, is underneath it. And we've got one more out here in the 8th. And it'll be up to Jesus Sanchez, who's 1 for 2 in this one with a 3-run jack. I'd prefer not to see that happen here. As we'll pick up a strike here, pitch 1 on a fastball, bottom 3rd. Anthony yet again ahead in the count. Left that one hanging. Good news, it's crushed mid first base bleachers. We've got an 0-2 count here. Anthony gets the K. That is a great setup for the 9th as long as we can find some bats here. Bottom of the 8th. We need 2 runs and hits that are equal for both teams. And it will be Brooks Lee leading off. 2-run home run in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Without Kurt on the mound, had to go back to it. I had to. 3 pitches for him was good enough in the bottom of the 7th. But he'd be throwing much more than that here with a 3-1 count. Brooks Lee has not offered at a pitch yet. But that one was left down the middle, and he gets behind it. Unfortunately, this time, it's not enough power to send it out. He flies out in center field. And from there, they will look to make the pitching change. Brian King coming in. We've already seen him this episode, and he did a great job of closing us out. James Outman, though, 0 for 2 with a walk. We need a runner on some way, somehow. We know he has some speed. Last time we batted with him, he had the chopper through the middle, though he misses the 92 fastball there. Just a snag early, but he swings way off. And Outman currently up to bat now with a 2-2 count. Fouling off the four-seamer. Might have been ball 3. Indeed, it would have. All fastballs so far here coming from Brian King. And the first sinker is below the zone. He does have 4 pitches to work with here on a full count. Contact is sent out to left, but it hangs. All too easy to pick up that out. We're down to 1 here, bottom of the 8th. Good news for us is Byron Buxton. Bad news for us, he's 0 for 3 in this one. But we are back to the standard batting order that has him leading off. Against King. Hard hit fastball down the third base line and foul. And this time he straightens things out. It's blocked, but they will not attempt the throw. Byron Buxton with an infield base hit. And that puts some speed out there for us as well, with Jose Miranda batting behind. And once again, we are stuck in a pickle here. Byron Buxton looking to steal perhaps all too early, and the pump fake gets him. Well, this team trying to bring back small ball has gotten them into more trouble than anything. So to the 9th we go, and Brendan Rodgers on the Astros. Now, we still have pretty good energy here with Anthony, and we would prefer to let our setup and closer rest here if possible, especially already trailing 2 runs here. So we'll keep him in this game as long as he can hold on. And that's going to be a quick play with a snag by third, Royce Lewis. Quick outs like that always help out the pitching staff, and Dubon, who's 0 for 4, that also helps out the pitching staff. Hopefully we'll look to get him out just as quickly. Bottom middle part of the zone was the only hot spot. Thanks for that call there, ump. That one was close. Could have gone either way, but a strike here for Anthony. And a potential another quick out as the throw is on time. Dubon goes 0 for 5. I'm liking the soft contact. But now for a chance at a little bit of some revenge, perhaps. Carlos Correa. Obviously traded because the team in general wasn't playing to the standard they hoped at the beginning of the season. He doesn't like that curveball, though. He lays off. And it's now 2-1 in favor of Correa. Hard hit and through the infield. Buxton will just come charging in, because why not? Stretch out those legs a little bit. Didn't get the chance on the caught stealing attempt. That puts 1 on then for Alvarez. Still not offering at that curveball here. For all the confidence Anthony has in it, he's not quite getting them to swing at it. And that one's just below the zone, so trailing in the count here. You're 2-0. And left a fastball down the middle that is a no-doubt shot into the bullpen. 426. That's what happens when you miss your spot. You give up a 107 exit velo shot, adding 2 more onto the board, and now you are down by 4. We'll see if Anthony can finish this one out against Altuve. No one swinging at that curveball. Not sure what it is, but they just know it's not finding the strike zone. Some more contact given up. Outman reaches and sends it in to Brooks Lee. With a runner at first, it's Jose Altuve. Facing now Isaac Paredes, who's 4 for 4 in this one with a double and 3 singles. Would love to actually pick up a K. Just off the plate, though. Good answer back there, and you've got a 1-2 count here. Love for this to be our final pitch, but it's through. Barely, and Outman takes a bad angle at it. He looks to throw his way home. Jeffers with no coverage at the plate. Altuve goes from first to home, and this game has been blown open in the 9th. Oh, that should have been an out. Absolutely crushing there. And they just keep coming. Another hit. This time, at least, no one heads home. And with that, I think it's time to get a new pitcher in the game. Anthony, unfortunately, that home run really was the nail for it. After that, he just could not find his pitches. Gave up quite a few more bits of contact. Unfortunate plays in the field as well. Let's get Michael Tonkin in this game and see if he could at least pick up 1 out here for us before we give up double-digit runs. With runners on the corners. That fastball is low for Diaz. 1 for 4 in this one. RBI single in the 4th. And contact is made. Cha-Cha, I guess, decides not to tag. He makes the throw. And we do get that final out here, finally, as we'll move to the batter's box with a whole lot of work to do. It starts with Jose Miranda. Cha-Cha Vaz was out there at second base, but I guess not batting in his normal spot. We'll take that fastball inside. And sharp hit ball through the infield. Miranda gets on, and at this point there really doesn't make much sense to do any sort of pinch running in a 5-run game. Cha-Cha Vaz steps up behind. We'll see if he could get any damage done. A sharp hit ball this time, a little too close to the player. Shortstop spears it. And that was a 105 exit velo kind of a hit. Really unfortunate there for Vaz, but Royce Lewis stepping up here, and I don't know why all the action over at the bottom left corner is a bit behind. That could have been a home run ball, but making King work for this one. We run the count full. 3-2. And contact down the third base line. Heading on, not over to third, apparently. Could have sworn I saw the manager tell him to run, but it'll just be a single, moving the runner to second. 1 out here. Royce Lewis with another hit. Now Ryan Jeffers with a .387 average. 1 for 3 today with a single, an RBI, and a run. 2 for 7 in the series. He's got some solid contact, some solid power. And King gave him a potential home run ball there on the fastball, just slightly above middle. He timed it well, but he just swung a little bit underneath it. Missing the sinker as well. Just scraping the bottom outside corner, and is down in this count now, 0-2. Laying off the fastball, though, a smart eye there. And again, through this time. And holding up there at third. Bases are loaded. Bottom of the 9th. And who do we have stepping up behind? I don't know. We got a pitching visit at least, or a mound visit. No, his day is done. Do they look to bring in Hader then to try to put this game to rest? They will. 2 for 3 in save opportunities with a 3 ERA. And Jonah Bride, who's batting .323, though 0 for 4. And he'll be staying in this game with some solid bit of power. Hader. And an antsy Jonah Bride there swings at one. He never should have let that bat leave his shoulder. This is a huge opportunity for the Twins. And lifted, but well foul. Perhaps straighten that one out. You might have something on it. But you fall behind in the count here, 0-2. And hard hit back to center field. and everyone will look to advance. Sliding in safely, we find one. Now we are still 4 behind, but we make this 9-5. And Trevor Larnach, who's 0 for 4. This time a change will be made. Matt Wallner stepping up to bat. He's got the best contact and power mix that we have right now. Let's see if he could bring someone home. Once again, reaching a bit antsy with a pair of fastballs down the seam and both being fouled off. It's now 1-2. Wallner swings and misses. Hader comes in and closes out the jam. We at least found one there, which was more than honestly what I expected us to do after that game got opened up, with some big swings coming from the opposite side. Well, let me know what you feel about this series. If you're excited for some Twins action and continuing in the same kind of manner of which we did today, in future episodes I will look to get through more than just a bit over a week. We will sim through a lot more games and be a little bit more picky choosy, but I wanted to give a good example of all the different things that might happen. And in the first couple seasons where we're really focusing on just getting through and starting to build the team our way, we will sim a lot more and play a lot less full games. But when we do get into situations where it's big games, we will jump into the full ones, especially when it comes to making playoffs or perhaps even first appearances of draftees for us. We'll definitely look to get some things changed up when it gets to that point of the series. But before we close things out today, let's just take a look at how we've done out the gates. Byron Buxton, his average is at 205. That could be better. Cha-Cha Vaz is up at 273, with Royce Lewis at 395. 235 for Wallner, 205 for Miranda, 200 for Larnach, 323 here for Jonah Bride. So he might be someone we could consider switching with Wallner, who has more speed. Again, this is the speed slot that we're toying with, and while Jonah Bride is not really the fastest guy, 49, we might just try to bring that average higher up into the order. 406, though, for Ryan Jeffers. Not quite sure why he's batting this low, probably due to outside of that contact or that power versus left, he actually doesn't have great hitting ratings. So probably makes a little bit more sense that he is this low. Brooks Lee is at 333. So all in all, I don't feel like we're doing too awful there. As for the guys on the bench, Christian Vasquez does have a pretty high average, though only 3 at-bats. 4 at-bats for Clemens, he's batting 250. Outman 7 at-bats, and he's batting 143. So that is a little bit rough. But with 4 at-bats, 500 for Julian. So we might try to see a little bit more rotation with some of these guys down the line. As for your pitching rotation, a 5.59 ERA for Joe Ryan, though that is still correcting from his first appearance, which was opening day stream. 6.10 though for Lopez, not great. 9 for Taj Bradley. 11.25 for Festa. And Woodge Richardson is at a 6.23, and that is with Ole, who did have to make his way to the IL, who right now has our best ERA across the board. So pitching has definitely been rough out the gate, and perhaps that is a position we will look to scout more on. Again, let me know all your thoughts. Leave your comments below if you enjoyed this episode. Let Cha-Cha Vaz know, part owner here now of the Twins. Especially, I know a lot of Minnesotans very upset the Twins did not actually sell the team to someone else. But if you are enjoying this and are ready for more, hit that bell icon in the bottom right or scroll down at the sub button and tap that bell icon so you're notified when all these videos go live. We have a stream tomorrow for the Giants franchise. That'll probably be a late afternoon, early evening stream. I'm thinking maybe around 5 or so o'clock. Got to do it after I get home from work. But we'll be back with the normal scheduled uploads on Friday with Kent State. This series will be here every Wednesday, and that's why I want to make sure we're jumping through a good bit each week. So we will see you next time as the Twins look to finally get on the more positive end of some of these games.